Forget protein powder. This is not just a marketing slogan. It's a wake-up call. For decades, an entire industry has thrived on fear. Fear of aging, fear of weakness, fear of losing the strength that defines our independence. Step into any pharmacy or supermarket, and you'll see shelves lined with glossy tubs of powder, promising vitality in a scoop, longevity in a shake. Their advertisements are polished, almost cinematic. Smiling seniors lift weights, runners sprint across golden beaches, all clutching cups of chalky liquid that supposedly hold the secret to staying strong. But behind the billion-dollar illusion lies a quieter truth. Our bodies were never designed to thrive on factory-made isolates. Protein powders, no matter how advanced the label, are stripped, denatured, and reassembled fragments of what once was food. In the name of convenience, the living orchestra of nutrients nature created is silenced, leaving only a lonely instrument to play. Let's look deeper. Most protein powders are heavily processed under high heat, which damages delicate proteins and removes natural cofactors essential for muscle repair. To make up for what's lost, companies often add synthetic vitamins and artificial sweeteners, but these chemical substitutes aren't recognized by the body in the same way as nutrients bound in real food. For many older adults, they do more harm than good: bloating, discomfort, digestive upset. The irony is cruel. Powders sold as health boosters often leave the body struggling. Science backs this up. Researchers have long noted that muscle synthesis depends not just on isolated protein, but on an interplay of enzymes, minerals, and micronutrients that powders cannot replicate. The natural helpers, the supporting actors, are stripped away, leaving an incomplete script for your body to follow. Imagine trying to perform a symphony with just a violin, while the drums, horns, and strings sit silent. The sound might exist, but the fullness, the power, the beauty, it's gone. And so we ask, why have we been led here? Why do we spend billions chasing strength in tubs when nature provides it so freely, so abundantly? The answer is psychology as much as physiology. Marketing preys on vulnerability. The fear of frailty as we age makes us crave shortcuts, formulas, and guaranteed solutions. But in chasing these quick fixes, we often walk further from the very foods that built human strength across millennia. Real food has always been our greatest ally. Long before factories and laboratories, our ancestors preserved their muscles and vitality with simple, nourishing meals. They didn't sip fluorescent shakes. They ate foods rich in synergy, proteins working in harmony with minerals, enzymes, and antioxidants, all bound together by nature's design. Today, modern science has given a name to this phenomenon: food synergy. It is the idea that nutrients are most powerful when they arrive as part of a natural package, not in isolation. A scoop of powder delivers only fragments. A bite of whole food delivers the orchestra. And this is where our journey begins. Not in the fluorescent aisles of processed promises, but in the quiet wisdom of real, everyday foods. Some of them are so powerful, they can begin protecting your muscles within just half an hour. Some cost less than $2, yet they carry more strength, more science, and more soul than any powdered substitute. This isn't just about diet. It's about reclaiming truth. It's about asking, what if the key to holding on to our vitality, our independence, our very identity as strong human beings has been waiting for us all along, hidden in plain sight, in the foods we forgot? Whole foods are more than calories, more than protein, more than the sum of their parts. They are living chemistry sets, where vitamins, minerals, enzymes, and plant compounds combine in perfect balance. Scientists call it food synergy. Imagine sitting in a concert hall. If protein powder is like hearing one lone violin playing by itself, then whole foods are the full orchestra. Strings, brass, percussion, each instrument enhancing the other, filling the air with harmony. That is how your body hears nutrition, not as isolated notes, but as symphonies of nourishment. When you eat real food, you're not just feeding muscle tissue. You're engaging ancient biological pathways, honed over millions of years of evolution. Think of it this way. Your DNA is old, unimaginably old, and it carries instructions written in a time when food was unprocessed, whole, and alive. Our bodies evolved to recognize nutrients in natural forms. The coactors, magnesium helping enzymes fire, vitamin C amplifying iron absorption, antioxidants protecting delicate fats. This is nature's script. A processed powder disrupts that story, offering fragments that the body struggles to weave back together. Research confirms this. Proteins in their natural state are more efficiently digested and absorbed. In contrast, the high heat and industrial treatment of powders denatures them, making them harder for the gut to handle. Worse, the sudden spike of amino acids from a shake often fades quickly, leaving muscles unprotected hours later. Whole foods, by contrast, release nutrients steadily, like a slow-burning flame that keeps muscles nourished across the day. For older adults, this slow release is essential because meals may be spaced farther apart, and muscles need ongoing defense against breakdown. And there is another dimension. Pleasure. Food is not just fuel. It is culture, memory, connection. The enjoyment of taste, texture, aroma. These are not trivial. They are part of the psychology of sustainable health. No one longs for another chalky shake, day after day. But a creamy bite of ricotta with honey, the sweetness of watermelon on a warm afternoon, the richness of salmon shared at dinner, these are moments of joy. And joy is what sustains habits across decades. Philosophers and physicians throughout history have understood this. Hippocrates, often called the father of medicine, declared, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food." He was not speaking of powders or isolates, but of real foods in their wholeness. Food as ritual, food as medicine, food as the thread that connects body, mind, and spirit. So the question deepens. If whole foods are the orchestra, if they offer not only strength but pleasure, why do we keep returning to powders? Perhaps because powders promise convenience and control, but in chasing speed, we often sacrifice depth. Health is not built on shortcuts. It is built on rhythms, daily meals, seasonal cycles, patient choices repeated again and again. The truth is this. Your body knows what to do with real food. Every cell, every muscle fiber, every enzyme has been rehearsing this performance for generations. The wisdom is already inside you, and when you feed it with the foods it recognizes, the harmony begins. Muscles repair, energy flows, inflammation calms. Not instantly, not magically, but deeply, naturally, enduringly. And now we turn to the first of these foods, a food so humble it often hides in plain sight, a food creamy, rich, almost luxurious, and yet packed with the raw biological power to switch off muscle loss within minutes. It is not cottage cheese, not Greek yogurt, but something even more extraordinary. Ricotta, not cottage cheese, not Greek yogurt, ricotta. At first glance, it looks like a soft, creamy indulgence you'd expect on an Italian dessert plate. But behind its mild taste lies a secret so powerful it can begin reversing muscle loss within just 30 minutes of eating it. Ricotta is the richest natural source of whey protein in its purest, unprocessed form. And unlike the powdered whey scooped from a tub, ricotta's whey arrives intact, surrounded by its natural allies, fats, minerals, and enzymes that help your body use it efficiently. This matters because protein isn't just about how much you eat, it's about how much your muscles can actually use. Inside ricotta lies leucine, one of the most critical amino acids for aging muscles. Scientists often call it the master switch of muscle building. Think of leucine as a light switch in a dark room. The moment your blood levels rise, the switch flips, and your muscles receive the message, stop breaking down, start building up. 1 cup of ricotta delivers about 3 grams of leucine, enough to ignite that spark almost instantly. But ricotta's gifts don't stop there. It also contains albumin, the same high-efficiency protein found in egg whites, only gentler, easier to digest, and more bioavailable. This means your body can use nearly every gram of it for muscle repair. Compare that to many powders, where damaged protein structures and additives lower efficiency. With ricotta, nature wastes nothing. Even calcium in ricotta comes in a form your body craves: calcium lactate. This isn't the chalky, difficult-to-absorb calcium found in supplements. It's bioactive, fast, ready to enter your system. And calcium is not just about bones. Without it, your muscles cannot contract properly, no matter how much protein you consume. Calcium is the silent rhythm section of the orchestra, keeping every beat steady. Now imagine an older adult, weary from years of powders that caused more discomfort than strength. They switch, skeptically, to a simple bowl of ricotta with honey and berries. Within weeks, something changes. Less soreness after gardening, more steadiness climbing stairs, a renewed lightness in their step. It's not a miracle pill. It's simply biology responding to food it understands. And there's something deeply human about ricotta. Its history is ancient. In Italian, ricotta means recooked. For centuries, farmers crafted it by heating whey left over from cheese-making, refusing to waste even a drop of nourishment. In that humility lies wisdom, the recognition that every part of food has value, that nothing in nature is accidental. Ricotta is also practical. Soft, creamy, and easy to eat, it's perfect for those with dental issues or difficulty swallowing. It doesn't bloat, doesn't upset the gut, doesn't burden digestion the way powders often do. You can spread it on whole grain toast, stir it into soup instead of heavy cream, or pair it with fruit for a refreshing snack. It nourishes while delighting, reminding us that health does not need to taste like medicine. Here is the lesson. Sometimes the most powerful solutions are not found in laboratories, but in the foods we overlook. Ricotta is not glamorous, not trendy, not marketed by billion-dollar ad campaigns. Yet within its soft texture lies strength, the kind of strength that lets us hold on to independence, mobility, and dignity as we age. From this forgotten protector, we turn to something even more surprising, a food that doesn't boast high protein at all. A fruit. Sweet, refreshing, familiar. And yet, in its chemistry, it yields one of the strongest defenses against muscle fatigue and breakdown: the fruit of summer. Watermelon. It doesn't look like a muscle food. No glossy fitness magazine would put it on the cover. It's not dense with protein or sold in expensive tubs. And yet, beneath its pink sweetness, watermelon hides one of the most potent secrets in nature's medicine cabinet. Watermelon is the richest natural source of an amino acid called citrulline. When you eat it, your body transforms citrulline into arginine and then into nitric oxide, a gas molecule so powerful it can open blood vessels, flood your muscles with oxygen, and sweep away the metabolic waste that causes soreness and fatigue. It's like flipping open every highway in your body, green lights shining, traffic flowing smoothly. Muscles recover faster, ache less, and age more gracefully. This isn't just theory. Studies show that eating watermelon or drinking its juice can reduce muscle soreness by up to 40% and nearly cut recovery time in half. Think about that. A simple slice of fruit, working with the precision of a high-tech supplement, but without the price tag or the side effects. And circulation isn't just for athletes. For older adults, blood flow naturally slows with age. Muscles starved of oxygen weaken. Recovery takes longer. Everyday tasks feel heavier. But watermelon reopens the gates, restoring vitality to tissue that hungers for oxygen and nutrients. The surprises don't stop there. Bite into a wedge, and you're also getting more potassium than a banana, essential for preventing cramps and keeping muscles firing properly. Layer on lycopene, the deep red antioxidant also found in tomatoes, but in higher concentration here. Lycopene shields muscle cells from oxidative damage, the microscopic wear and tear that accelerates muscle loss over decades. Even the natural sugars in watermelon serve a purpose. After activity, whether it's a long walk, gardening, or lifting groceries, muscles need glycogen, their stored form of energy. Watermelon's sweetness refills those stores gently, while citrulline keeps recovery humming in the background. It's nature's perfect post-activity food: hydration, electrolytes, antioxidants, energy, all in one refreshing package. There's a poetry to it. Imagine a warm summer afternoon, the sun high, the air heavy, sweat on your brow. You cut into a watermelon, hear the crack of the rind, see the glistening flesh. Every bite is cool relief. But behind that pleasure, unseen, your blood vessels are widening, your muscles are recharging, your body is healing. Sweetness and strength, wrapped together by design. Even the pale white rind, often discarded, contains even more citrulline. Some people juice it, transforming waste into medicine. It's a reminder that nature rarely makes mistakes. Sometimes the parts we throw away are the most valuable of all. Watermelon is not just food, it's philosophy. It teaches us that strength doesn't always come from heaviness or density. Sometimes it comes from lightness, from refreshment, from joy. In a world obsessed with protein counts and gram measurements, watermelon whispers a different truth. Recovery is as important as exertion. Flow is as important as force. So, next time you prepare for activity, or finish it, consider the humble watermelon, not just as a treat, but as a tool. A bright, sweet, living medicine, restoring what age tries to take away. And as we leave the orchards and fields, our journey turns seaward, because the ocean, too, hides its treasures. In cans stacked quietly on grocery shelves, overlooked in favor of glamorous powders, lie some of the most complete muscle-protecting foods nature has to offer. Salmon, sardines, the ocean's gift to strength. The sea has always been humanity's ally. Long before supplements, long before science could explain omega-3s or antioxidants, coastal communities relied on fish not just for survival, but for vigor, endurance, and longevity. In the quiet simplicity of a tin can, salmon and sardines, lies a power that rivals any powder you could buy. Let's begin with salmon, especially the humble canned kind. At first glance, it may not seem extraordinary, an inexpensive pantry staple, nothing glamorous. Yet open the can, and you hold nearly 25 grams of complete protein, along with one of the rarest treasures for aging muscles, omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA. These fats do something remarkable. They make muscle tissue more sensitive to protein. In other words, with omega-3s present, every gram of protein you eat works harder, builds stronger, and protects longer. Imagine your muscle cells as doors. Protein knocks, but sometimes the doors don't open wide enough, especially as we age. Omega-3s are the key that turns the handle, widening the doorway, letting in more of what your body already consumes. The result? Less muscle loss, more strength preserved. Salmon also contains astaxanthin, the pink antioxidant pigment that shields muscle tissue from stress and damage. And those soft, edible bones inside the can, often overlooked, are packed with calcium, phosphorus, and vitamin D3, the very form your body makes from sunlight. These aren't just nutrients, they're the architects of strong contractions, strong bones, strong muscles. And unlike isolated pills, here they come in their natural ratios, precisely balanced for human absorption. But if salmon is the ocean's teacher, sardines are its warrior. Packed in olive oil, these tiny fish deliver one of the most synergistic combinations in all of nutrition. 23 grams of high-quality protein, rich omega-3s, abundant vitamin D, and, uniquely, CoQ10, a nutrient that powers the mitochondria, the engines of your muscle cells. CoQ10 levels decline sharply with age, leading to fatigue and weakness. Sardines restore it in one of the most absorbable forms nature offers. Then there is olive oil, not just a carrier, but a partner. Its monounsaturated fats soothe inflammation, enhance vitamin absorption, and, in combination with fish oils, create a two-layer defense for muscle protection. This is not random. It is synergy, nature's design at its most brilliant. Cultures have known this for centuries. In Mediterranean villages, sardines and olive oil weren't trendy health foods. They were daily sustenance, the foundation of diets that produced some of the longest living people on Earth. Today, science simply confirms what tradition always knew. Real strength often comes from simplicity. And there's another beauty here. Accessibility. A can of salmon costs a fraction of what a tub of protein powder does. Sardines, too. They require no blender, no refrigeration, no artificial flavoring. Just open, eat, and nourish. These are foods that last for years in your pantry, but once eaten, begin protecting your muscles within hours. Picture this. A retired carpenter, hands once calloused from years of labor, opens a can of sardines. Not glamorous, not exotic, just practical. Yet as he eats, his body receives omega-3s to soften inflammation, vitamin D to strengthen contractions, CoQ10 to recharge tired muscle fibers. Every bite is quiet resilience, a preservation of strength earned over decades of life. The sea does not shout. It whispers. But those whispers, of salmon, of sardines, are louder in truth than any commercial promising miracles in powder form. And yet, there is one food that has sparked more debate than perhaps any other in the last century, a food demonized, feared, and misunderstood, a food once cast aside in the name of cholesterol, but now revealed by science to be among the most perfect muscle builders of them all. The egg. Few foods have carried as much controversy as the egg. For decades, it was painted as dangerous, its yolk condemned as a villain lurking in breakfast plates, accused of raising cholesterol and harming hearts. Millions were told to strip it bare, eat only the whites, throw away the golden center. Yet today, after decades of research, the truth emerges with clarity. The egg, whole, unbroken, is among the most complete muscle-building foods nature has ever designed. One egg contains the highest quality protein score of any whole food, with a biological value of 100. This means nearly every gram you eat is translated directly into muscle, repair, and energy. But the secret is not in the whites alone. When scientists compared eating whole eggs after exercise to eating the same protein from egg whites only, the results were astonishing. Whole eggs built 40% more muscle. Why? Because the yolk carries unique compounds, vitamins, fats, and cofactors that act like amplifiers, boosting protein synthesis far beyond what isolated whites could achieve. Inside the yolk lies vitamin D, critical for muscle contraction. Choline, essential for nerve signals to fire properly between brain and muscle. Vitamin A, indispensable for building new proteins. And clusters of leucine-rich peptides that signal your body to build rather than break down. Together, they form a package evolution perfected. A complete system of nourishment no lab could ever replicate. And then there is cholesterol, long misunderstood. For older adults especially, dietary cholesterol is not the enemy. It is raw material, the foundation for hormones like testosterone and estrogen that decline with age. Without it, muscle strength falters. With it, the body restores balance. The very nutrient once feared as poison is, in truth, the scaffolding of vitality. There is also a psychology here. Eggs represent the cycle of life itself. They are the symbol of rebirth, potential, resilience. For centuries, across cultures, the egg has been revered not as a danger, but as a promise. To eat an egg is to consume life's blueprint, condensed into a fragile shell, and consider the joy of eating them. A soft yolk spilling across toast, a hearty omelet filled with vegetables, scrambled eggs sizzling in a pan with olive oil. These are not sterile supplements. These are meals rich with color, aroma, and satisfaction. Meals that not only feed the muscles, but the spirit, the part of us that longs for comfort, tradition, and ritual. Science now shows that pairing eggs with vegetables amplifies absorption of antioxidants by up to 7-fold. The fats in the yolk act like carriers, escorting carotenoids and vitamins from plants into your bloodstream. That means a simple veggie omelet becomes more than breakfast. It becomes a nutritional symphony, the yolk and the greens dancing together, amplifying each other's gifts. What powders strip away, eggs preserve. They remind us that sometimes the oldest, simplest foods remain unmatched in power. Where powders imitate, eggs embody. From this symbol of renewal, we step into another realm of wisdom, the wisdom of the gut. Because protecting muscle isn't just about what happens in fibers and cells, it's about what happens in the hidden ecosystem within us. Here lie the foods that strengthen not only our muscles, but the invisible networks that sustain them. Kefir, black beans, and beets. If muscles are the visible proof of strength, the gut is the hidden engine that sustains it. What happens inside your digestive tract may seem far removed from the fibers in your arms and legs, but science has uncovered a profound truth. Your gut and your muscles are in constant conversation. And 3 foods, ancient, humble, and often overlooked, carry the power to strengthen this dialogue. First, Kefir. This tangy, fermented milk drink has been consumed for centuries in Eastern Europe and the Caucasus Mountains, passed down through generations as a daily ritual of health. To the eye, it looks simple. To the tongue, refreshing. But within each glass are armies of life, up to 60 strains of beneficial bacteria and yeasts, more diverse than any other dairy food. These probiotics are not passive travelers. They reshape the gut environment, reducing inflammation, enhancing immunity, and, most importantly for muscles, helping the body extract and use protein more efficiently. The proteins in kefir are already partially broken down through fermentation, making them gentler and more absorbable, especially for older adults with weaker digestion. And hidden within is casein, a slow-releasing protein that forms a gentle gel in the stomach, feeding muscles for up to 7 hours. Drink kefir before bed, and while you sleep, your body is nourished steadily, preventing the silent breakdown of muscle that often occurs overnight. It is, in a sense, a night watchman, guarding your strength while you rest. Next, black beans. A plant food often dismissed by those who worship at the altar of animal protein. Yet inside lies a secret weapon. A single cup offers 18 grams of protein, but its real strength comes from resistant starch, a special type of fiber. This fiber doesn't feed you directly. Instead, it feeds your gut bacteria, which produce butyrate, a short-chain fatty acid proven to protect muscle, reduce inflammation, and even improve strength. Scientists call it the second meal effect. Eat beans now, and not only do you benefit from that protein, but your body uses protein from your next meal more effectively. Black beans are not just a food. They are a primer, tuning your metabolism to get more out of every bite. Rich in folate, magnesium, and anthocyanins, the same powerful antioxidants found in blueberries, black beans fuel both the cellular machinery of muscle growth and the defense against oxidative damage. They stabilize blood sugar, preventing the spikes and crashes that corrode muscle tissue over time. The message is clear. Strength does not only come from the obvious. Sometimes it hides in the ordinary bowl of beans simmering on the stove. And then there are beets. Humble, earthy, often overlooked. Yet they are nature's nitric oxide powerhouse. Rich in dietary nitrates, beets open blood vessels, increasing blood flow to muscles by up to 20%. That means more oxygen, more nutrients, more endurance, and less fatigue. Studies show beet juice can improve muscle efficiency by 16%, allowing you to do the same activity with less effort. For an older adult, that can mean walking farther, climbing stairs more easily, living more freely. But beets give even more. Their deep red pigment, betalains, acts as a potent anti-inflammatory, calming the very processes that accelerate age-related muscle decline. They contain betaine, a compound that helps your body naturally produce creatine, the molecule your muscles use for explosive energy. While synthetic creatine powders are sold in sports shops, beets offer the original source, delivered gently, organically, with none of the side effects. Think of kefir as the night's guardian, beans as the metabolic teacher, and beets as the circulatory warrior. Together, they remind us of a truth larger than nutrition. Resilience is not built in isolation. It is built through networks, bacteria with muscles, blood with oxygen, Food with spirit. When you combine these foods, you're not just eating. You're restoring the ancient alliances between your gut, your blood, and your strength. You're reminding your body that survival was never about a single nutrient, but about systems working in harmony. And now, having journeyed from dairy to fruit, from ocean to earth, from gut to blood, it's time to bring it all together. To weave these foods into a day of strength, built not on powders and promises, but on meals that are real, joyful, and powerful. Imagine waking up in the morning not to a blender full of chalky powder, but to the scent of eggs sizzling gently in olive oil. Whole eggs, yolk included, rich with the perfect balance of protein, vitamins, and natural compounds designed to switch on your body's muscle-building machinery. You add a handful of vegetables, and suddenly those antioxidants are absorbed 7 times more effectively, pulled into your bloodstream by the fats in the yolk. Breakfast is no longer just fuel, it is a declaration of strength. Later in the morning, instead of reaching for a synthetic shake, you sit with a small bowl of ricotta, topped with fresh berries. The creamy ricotta floods your bloodstream with leucine, flipping the master switch that halts muscle breakdown and begins repair. The berries layer in antioxidants, a colorful shield against the invisible stresses of aging. In that moment, your muscles are not just preserved, they are actively defended. By lunchtime, the table is bright with a salad of black beans and colorful vegetables, drizzled with olive oil. This is not just food. It is preparation. The beans prime your metabolism for the meals to come, ensuring that every protein source you eat later will be used more efficiently. The resistant starch feeds your gut bacteria, who in turn craft compounds that whisper directly to your muscles. Grow, repair, endure. As the afternoon sun warms the air, you cut into a wedge of watermelon. Sweet, hydrating, refreshing. But beneath the pleasure lies precision. Citrulline flowing into nitric oxide, opening your blood vessels, flushing oxygen into tired muscles. The soreness of yesterday fades. Recovery accelerates. Energy returns. With every bite, you are not just cooling your body, you are restoring its rhythm. Evening comes, and dinner is humble but profound. Canned salmon or sardines, served with roasted beets and seasonal vegetables. The fish provide omega-3s to sensitize your muscle cells, vitamin D to strengthen contraction, CoQ10 to recharge energy production. The beets, red and earthy, expand your circulation by 20%, making every movement more efficient, every effort less fatiguing. In this single meal, ocean and earth converge, delivering a synergy powders can never mimic. Before bed, you sip a glass of Kefir. Its probiotics fortify your gut. Its proteins digest slowly, releasing amino acids steadily through the night. While you sleep, while dreams unfold, your muscles are fed and protected. What usually would be hours of silent breakdown become hours of silent repair. Strength is not only preserved, it is built in the dark. This is not a strict prescription. It is a pattern, a rhythm, a reminder. You can mix and match these foods across the week, knowing that every choice is another thread in the tapestry of resilience. The point is not perfection. It is presence. To eat with awareness, to choose foods that serve both body and spirit. To replace powders that promise shortcuts with meals that provide wholeness. And here lies the choice. One path is filled with tubs of processed powder, glossy labels, quick fixes that often leave the gut bloated and the muscles undernourished. The other path is woven with real food, ricotta, watermelon, salmon, sardines, eggs, kefir, beans, beets. Foods that cost less, taste better, and work in harmony with the body's design. Powders feed the fear of aging. Real foods feed the truth of living. Powders isolate. Real foods connect. One promises convenience, the other delivers continuity between past and present, between the earth and the body, between strength and independence. Every meal is a choice, and every choice is a chance to protect what matters most: your strength, your freedom, your very sense of self. Because in the end, health is not a product you buy. It is a relationship you nurture, with nature, with your body, with time itself. So the next time you are faced with the sterile promise of a powdered shake, remember this: your body doesn't need a lab-made formula. It already knows how to thrive. It has always known. All it needs is what nature has given you, waiting quietly in the foods you may have forgotten. Eat well, stay strong, keep moving forward.